is going on. Right now, I'm in the process of learning how to use YouTube. Excuse me. Um, but today's mini bike vlog is pretty much about your builds and how you try not to have too much frustration with your builds. A lot of people would prefer to say like whatever it is you just like decide you're deciding to build. Like I, for example, have a total now of 6 bikes. Um, yeah, no, it's kind of a lot, right? With that being that many builds that I've been doing, I've been trying to get my GoPro straight to where I can connect it to this my laptop, which right now I'm doing my live video on my laptop because my GoPro is dead, and so is my phone. So bear with me, you guys. I'm trying to get subscribers, and I'm going to start this first vlog with just being, the discussion about bikes. I built a collection of a X1. Actually, I have two X1s now. One completely built, converted to a 212, and the other one is just a frame right now. The fairing that I have before is right here. This is the fairing for the other X1. And I have the other part too, and I even have the gas tank. What I plan on doing with that bike is trying to convert it into a shifter motor for the other one. I've never owned a bike besides a pit bike that was a shifter motor. I've never had a sports bike style, and converted into something like that. I'm like, okay, well, I've been doing nothing but automatic motors, which is like I have a total of three non-Hemi motors. One is an actual Honda GX200. The other two are Predator 212s. One has a cam in it, um, and push rods. Um, the other has it's just a stage one, and this Honda GX is going to have a stage three. So stay tuned for a lot of these builds that are going to be coming up soon. I want to try to push the shifter motor build up until around maybe when school starts back, I think, because it'll give me a better time and a better base to be able to know exactly what direction I'm going to go in with like color scheme and what size engine and things of that nature. But I will have it all together eventually, y'all. Hold up. Oh, and I dropped the daggone spark plug boot right here. There's a brand new spark plug boot I ordered a while back for that. Well, I ordered one, but it ended up coming with two. So, you can never go wrong with having a spare. So, yeah, that's pretty much the case right now with what's going to end up happening with the shift and motor build. I hadn't really decided too much if I'm going to leave it that color because I kind of somewhat like this paint job. It's a red, kind of candy apple type red. So I will have to put it to the point where it is when I do that build, I might end up just leaving that bike that color. I think the red looks really, it looks really nice. It's a nice paint job, so I might end up sticking to that. Also bypassing your governor. Okay, people, I learned from watching Redbeard. Shout out to him. And shout out to Cars and Cameras, Isaac and John. They both, I've learned a lot from them, and they've actually given a lot of, I would say, they've given a lot of cool ideas to add, in its own category to the whole mini bike genre. But as far as that goes, a lot of things like, for example, like I said, bypassing your governor. I learned from Redbeard. All right, guys, and I always try to keep this in mind whenever you're bypassing your governor is that whenever you do, you don't want to delete the governor, okay? Because if you delete the governor, then that means you're going to pretty much be replacing all the inside parts in that engine. All right. You cannot cannot take the engine with a deleted governor, a factory stock flywheel. You can't take past 3,600 RPMs. You take it past that, you take the risk of the engine exploding. Not only that, possibly your leg getting damaged. It's not saying that it's real common to happen, but the risk is all just the same. All right. So you want to try to be careful when you ride and you want to try to be mindful of those things. You don't never want to sit up there and run an engine to the point whereas you don't even think, okay, well, I just deleted my governor. So let me go ahead and add a flywheel. Let me go ahead and add a brand new cam. Let me go ahead and add some pusher rods, things of that, like along those lines, because an engine is no more different than a puzzle. If you, long as you put the pieces together right, you're going to get the right response. But you got to be very careful to try to sit up there and not try to take a piece and force it into a spot. In other words, where you bypass the governor or you delete the governor. All right. You don't delete the governor until you get into the, I'll say, stage three range, probably. Now, when you're doing stage two, you could delete the governor, but you're not going to get but so much compression still out of that motor without putting a polish in the head. And of course, drilling out the jet. But these are the things that I'm learning. I'm still new at this. I've only been building now for 4 years. So with me building that long on that for that I'm sorry, that short of time, but that's not really long. Um I tried to like I still have old parts all around here from old bikes that when I got them and I take parts off and this is all the stuff right here that needs to go in the trash. So the garbage. So I'm gonna end up Monday when I'm off work. Like I just got off work almost an hour ago, but and I'm not planning on cleaning up any of this right now because I am tired. All right. But Monday I'll be off. So I'm gonna come in here and just sweep out and take the bikes out. All six of my bikes fit in this little small room right here. I'm gonna actually do a live video eventually once my GoPro fully charges up to show you guys the workshop that I have and slash storage my bikes. And I don't think a lot of us should try to keep them away from a shed. All right. And if it's a shed, try to make sure it's insulated. All right. You keep all of that in mind that you have metal and metal can tend to rust out even with it just sitting. All right. Even inside a shed. I'm sorry. Not with it just sitting, but inside a shed. And plus pretty much how often you let your stuff sit. Like you've seen people having bikes that'll probably be inside of a barn. It's like 30 years. And then somehow when they take it out the barn, like Isaac and John had took a bike out of a barn, and somehow they got that thing to run. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not saying that that's going to happen to every single bike that you come across inside of a barn because that'll be wishful thinking, right? Right. So you want to try to, keep it realistic. When it comes down to a budget build, even still, it's like I don't gotten past to the point where I'm not even calling these budget builds no more because when I call it a budget build, all these bikes are literally have some kind of issue with it that it needs addressed. Not major, like the Baja doesn't need anything but slime in the back tire and an exhaust gasket. Other than that, this bike does not need anything. And the front fender put back on. Other than that, it just needs to be bolted up. This bike doesn't need anything else. It runs and it rides and it's fast as hell too. All right, my little chopper. That one that's sitting right behind me. That's up under the tile. That one needs nothing, but it could use a new throttle because that one on there is kind of crappy. It literally is. You have to keep adjusting it, and if anything, it's tedious. So that's what that would need. The X1 would need that back wheel sprocket. It needs a bolt. I don't know what. I mean, I can't say I know exactly what bolt it needs, but what I can say is something in the inside of the housing that's going on where it's not trying to catch. So that needs to be addressed. The DB30 just needs the motor realigned, and it could use a new seat because the bottom of that seat's all burnt up from the last guy that had the bike. And when I got it from him, he told me he was like, "Yeah, this bike is real rough." I'm like, "Okay." And when you hear the word rough, you don't really know how rough of a state something is in. Like my X1 out there, this blue one sitting right here. I'll show you guys in the next live video that I ever do, which will probably be tomorrow. I'm not gonna make this one too long, but that bike the guy actually had it for a while, and then he ended up getting into an accident on it. So it ended up causing a major issue where the forks are extremely bent and the triple tree is cracked. So luckily, I have another X1 that I'm going to take the forks off of that one and put it on this one. For some odd reason, those forks are a little bit higher. I don't know why, but I'm actually liking the whole, scheme with the other ones that I'm taking off and I'm putting on here because those sit a little bit higher. So I think it would even out things a little bit. And I'm gonna end up taking that back shock off too and putting it on here. So I'll end up having a better, system in that, the gas tank. But that bike is gonna get rebuilt. I'm gonna end up finding some, forks, brand new from a company, and I'm gonna end up getting a new back wheel for it. I already got a front one, so that's not even a dilemma. Um, well, I might just order a new set. Excuse me. So 9 times out of 10, I might end up ordering a new set of wheels for that one. You know, because I've seen a lot of people been taking only getting a hold of these bikes just to get the rims. I don't know what it is, just to. I mean, I'm gonna assume that it's a style. You know, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool when I first seen it. And it's not like back in the day when I was growing up. You know how like you'll have a set of spree wells, the rims from way back in the day, the spinners. And I'm gonna say actual, not spree wells. I'm gonna say spinners. Everybody understood them and knew them as that terminology. You know the song "You Riding Spinners." Trying no copyright infringement, and I don't want nobody to try to sit up there and talk about no suit, no lawsuit. So let's make that clear. All right. And also the gas tank, and definitely the DB30 needs brakes. That thing has none. If anybody can please tell me exactly, does it need a bracket? Does it need the brake? I know it needs the caliber, and I know it needs the brake. I already has a brake handle. I just need the caliber and the brake cable. Please drop your comments down below in reference to which the brake caliber that I would need for that bike. I have several of them around here, and it's like I've tried, I think, every single one of them, and nothing has worked. So yeah. Uh, and then I had my Supreme. That one is getting another wheel, and the gas tank is okay. Let me find the best way to put this. The gas tank on that bike is literally rigged up with some zip ties, and I don't know why I need to really figure out a way to say that, but it's so rigged up to the point where it rattles. All right, and it's messing with the governor arm. So I gotta remount that gas tank, and I might end up just putting a new fuel line on it because one that's on there I think it's getting kind of corroded. So, and there's a brand new fuel line on DB30, a brand new fuel line on the X1. Uh, I don't know about this one right here, the gas tank on this my little chopper. I really don't. I'm okay with it for right now. It's not a problem. I think that this gas tank that I'm making right here would be way better on there. It'll hold more gas, and not only that, it would look way better on that chopper. And plus, I'll actually put some use to this gas tank. Yeah, that's another thing you want to try to do. You want to try to limit as much parts that you have laying around. All right. Um, if you have the storage space, that's cool. But you even with the storage space, sometimes that'll get us into a hoarding, kind of range with it, where we'll start getting parts and everything like that. And I still got parts from old bikes that I took pieces that I took off. So you got to really think like how many bikes I done probably ran through and built just within time because I've had bikes before I even moved out where I'm at. I just didn't have this many, nowhere near this many at one time. Or I would end up getting rid of one, then I would end up replacing that with a different one. So I looked at it as being, you know what? Once I got my little shop right here that I'm in, um, I pretty much just started, you know, my collection where it's not, it's like my collection slash, sales, like with the all the builds that I've done, man. I've just ran through and I cannot believe to the point where now I don't accumulated this many. Like my wife came out here on the back porch and was like, "It's a lot of bikes out here." I was like, "Yeah, well, I built them." So I can honestly say I done got a little bit outrageous with building them because I built, oh man, how many? One, two, three. Every last one. Even the one that this my laptop is sitting on right now. I have a desk, but it's in my house. I don't have it in here. And plus, like I said, I need to clean up in here and straighten up a little bit. Eventually, I'm gonna have to get a shed because I have too many bikes and I need way more space where these bikes are not going to be sitting on top of each other because that's going to cause a problem with not storage, but it'll cause a problem with like if you're going to move the bike the wrong way and end up pulling the throttle on another bike. So I would rather all the bikes like right now they're outside only because it's not raining and it's not the no no bad weather, so it's okay for them to be outside right now. They and plus they're rarely ever outside, so it wouldn't hurt it, But if anything, like I said, I'm just going to be cleaning this shop up, and of course the bikes are going to still have to be in here. But once I'm starting to build that other X1, that's when they're going to have to be stored inside of a shed, so that way I can have this room as exactly what it is. It'll be my shop where I bring the bike in here, and I'll have my work table in here, and I'll be able to sit the bike up on the table and work on it. I'll have my welder. I have enough room to where this all my tools will remain in here, but all my bikes will be stored in my shed. So that way, I don't have to worry about. I wish I had a garage, to be honest with you, because if I did, it's attached to the house still, so I wouldn't have any issues with storage as far as my bikes. And I would end up, of course, having my tools in there as well, so that way I could, work and go from, I don't have too far to go. Like with my bike now, I would have to sit up there and I have one bike in here. This is more than enough room. I can work on one bike in here without a work table. The work table I might end up building myself. But I got my welder right here. I got to straighten all of this stuff up. I got the other engine. I got old clutches that I got to probably throw away. Honda. Yeah, I got to get all of this stuff in the corner. My welding helmet. Somewhere in here is my other welding glove. I got to find it. So when I clean it out, I'm gonna end up going through it. But when you when you deal with along the lines like me right now, I have six bikes. Okay, in total, six bikes. One disassembled. Yeah. Where my last house, I only had maybe one, maybe two at the most, but I still never went past that mark or two. And I'm gonna lie to you, I think right now at this point, as we speak, I'm not gonna go past this number. I can't go past. Even if I had a shed, you still don't want to have. I don't want to have like 30, 40 bikes in my collection now. That's too many bikes. I think for one person. And I mind you, this is the crazy part. I don't really have any friends like that. I really don't. Like, I don't have anybody I can call up and be like, yo, want to ride? Come on over. I got a bike. Nine times out of ten, I guess they would probably rather have their own bike, you know, which is all cool and more, but that's just how it goes. And I try not to, hound anybody because a lot of people, surprisingly, around my neighborhood, they actually do ride. But I guess you could say it's probably more of an antisocial type thing. We all respect each other, but keep our distance all at the same time. And it's a pretty quiet and peaceful neighborhood. I love where I live. You know, um, I built these bikes around this neighborhood, and everybody knows. I guess you could say everybody knows in this neighborhood what I'm known for. I will build a bike and they'll see me on a different one every single time. I'm never on the same bike. Like I can guarantee you, anybody where I ride past in my neighborhood, I'm always on a different style of bike. And it's a bike around here that 9 times out of 10, the only one that you'll end up having is this Baja Warrior or a Mega Moto. But do anybody around here have an X1? No. I bet any amount of money in my neighborhood does not have an X1, and two of them at that. And not only that, I have a little chopper. That's another thing that nobody have around here. I got actually two of them. You might as well say three if you include the DB30, the Baja Warrior. To me, that's actually a chopper. All right, I don't know exactly what style, but it's a chopper style bike. You gotta, but it's not really too much. It's more like a all-terrain chopper. Where you can just take it anywhere. But if you put street tires on this thing, and you put probably a skinnier wheel, you'll turn it definitely into a chopper. But I got three of them. This is the most common one, the Baja Warrior. I mean, I've seen people that like to delve into the more antique style bikes, like 1969 or around those lines. Years, which mind you, I think it's pretty cool. I just never really came across I think but once. I had an old school friend didn't even know it. It had to been like a 1969. That was something with some springs in the back and shocks. I'm sorry, in the back. And there's one on each side, and I was like, okay, this is a all right little bike. I didn't have it that long because it had a foot brake on it, but it had these. My brother said that it looked like half a wheelchair, half a wheelchair. Which I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was kind of messed up because hold up, you don't ride many bikes. See, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, so where I'm from, everybody knows anybody from in Baltimore would probably, of course, know about the 12 o'clock boys, and they are known to ride what dirt bikes. So you would think, yeah, of course, that I got a dirt bike. You would think at least one bike in my collection would be a dirt bike, right? Well, it is going to be. Um, I'm just tinkering with that motor, but it's not going to be a shifter motor on that the dirt bike that I get. I'm going to build it myself, of course. It's going to have an electric start, but it's going to end up having a Honda GX motor, 200. It's going to have a stage three in it, with a torque converter and all that along the lines, and I'm going to just build it from ground up. Like my first ever own fully automatic dirt bike, and it all does the same thing. I mean, shift the motor, 212. A lot of people say it's not a good idea, but I don't know what the issue is. All right, you guys gotta go. Peace out. Check me out again on my channel. Oh, I don't know what the name of this channel is, but just check me out if you come across it. Like the video, share it. Subscribe. I'm gonna do more. All right. Peace.